the president at all disappointed that this episode came and went and Vladimir Putin's still in power?
The president is focused on supporting Ukraine. We're not taking sides in this internal matter. The president is going to make sure that we're staying focused on Ukraine.
He did say, though, in March 2022, for God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
Regime
this
change
might have changed that.
Regime change is not our policy. We've been very, very clear about that. What we're focused on is making sure Ukraine can succeed on the battlefield.
What was his demeanor like when he was getting the hour-to-hour updates?
Look, I wasn't with the president when he was getting these, so I'm not sure I'm qualified to speak to his demeanor. As you know, the president very keenly tracks foreign policy developments around the world. His national security team was giving him updates literally hour by hour throughout the weekend, and he was absorbing all that information.
What should we call what transpired over the weekend?
I think,
is it a mutiny, coup, or attempted coup, an armed rebellion?
We're not slapping a bumper sticker on it, Ed.
On the conversations with our allies, you had said we were not going to get involved in these events. We would not at any point. But if this had turned to a nuclear situation, what was the conversation with our allies about how that would be addressed?
I wouldn't speculate on hypotheticals, Jackie. I wouldn't get into hypotheticals. They were talking about the situation as we were seeing it unfold. They were communicating with each other, our allies and partners, about their perspectives, what they were seeing, what we were seeing, sharing as much context as we could, and making sure that we all...
Or harassment of a journalist or any journalist that is just trying to do their job. And so I just want to be very clear about that.
Because you've been discriminating against me for the past 9 months.
Stop. How is she discriminating against you?
No, she called on you. She just gave you a few questions. I just need a question in 9 months.
Just ask a question.
Please.
Go ahead,
allow
Alma.
me to do my job and ask my question. When you say that the journalists are being discriminated against,
If this continues, we're going to end the press briefing.
I've been in
If
this
this
briefing room, I'm
continues,
trying to ask you
you're
one
being
question.
incredibly rude.
Stop.
You're incredibly rude. You're being incredibly rude. You're talking over your colleague.
You're not applying
You're
it in this
talking
briefing.
over your colleague.
I'm not talking about the colleagues.
That I'd like to ask. When President Biden forgave the student debt, the administration booked a $400 billion cost that added to the deficit at the end of last fiscal year. How does the administration plan to look at this issue given the pending court decision? Will you book the deficit reduction in debt forgiveness, or will it stay in hopes of challenging the ruling?
So look, I'm not going to get ahead of the ruling, right? We are very confident that we are on that the law is on our side here. And so certainly not going to get ahead of what is going to happen and what the Supreme Court is going to rule. We are confident in our legal authorities, as we said over and over again. And as you all know, and I think I've said this before, that the Solicitor General made a compelling argument before the court. So we're certainly not going to get ahead of this decision.